Whatever or whoever made Romeo Romeo was no more dead than was Lily in the moments before her birth. When the hand-dug grave was filled and a tiny Sitka spruce planted in the broken soil, Jamie found himself suddenly two-legged. Black clouds rolled in over Solace, and he needed to sob himself to exhaustion and cry himself utterly dry. Yet the word death, the once fierce skeptic insists to this day, can never again mean end of story. Thanks to a four-legged moon that for 17 years circled the planet of his body, the word for Jamie now means tick. And the doors' openings and closings, hard to countenance and mysterious as they remain, have not felt purely bitter ever since. Thanks. Thank you. I'm just going to close with a little thought and then open it up to a little bit of Q&A if the house lights can come up. If the house lights don't come up, it would be too scary because I'd be hearing questions from the black void. One of our greatest human traits is compassion, which means literally to suffer with another. But this high art is seldom born in an instant as a response to watching the TV news or even in response to first-hand experience. More often, compassion seeds are sown via preliminary magic known as empathy, and empathy begins with a fictive act. What would it be like to be that black girl 4 rows in front of me? A little white girl wanders in school one morning. Her imagination sets to work creating unwritten fiction. In her mind, she becomes the black girl, dons her clothes, accent, skin, joins her friends after school, goes home to her family, lives that life. No first-hand experience is taking place. Nothing newsworthy is happening. Yet a white girl turned fictitiously black is linking skin hue to life, skin hue to choice of friends and neighborhood, skin hue to opportunity and history. Words she once used without thinking, African, color, white, feel suddenly different. And when her imaginary game is over, they still sound different. Via sheer fiction, empathy enters a human heart. To be a Christian, a Buddhist, a Muslim, is to immerse oneself in unstinting fiction making. Jesus' words, love thy neighbor as thyself, to cite a famously ignored example, demand an arduous, imaginative act. This deceptively simple line orders me as I look at you to imagine that I am seeing not you, but me, and then to treat this imaginative me, alias you, as if you are me. And for how long? Till the day I die. Jesus orders anyone who's serious about him to commit the neighbor equals me fiction until they forget for good which of the two of themselves to cheat in a business deal or abandon in a crisis or smart bomb in a war, at which point their imaginative act, their fiction making, will have turned Christ's bizarre words into reality, and they'll be saying with Mother Teresa, I see Christ in every woman and man. True, the ability to love neighbor as self is beyond the reach of most people. But the attempt to imagine thy neighbor as thyself is the daily work of every literary writer and reader I know. Literature's sometimes troubling, sometimes hilarious depictions of those annoying buffoons, our neighbors, may be the greatest gift we writers give the world when they become warm-up exercises for the leap toward actually loving our neighbors. Ernest Hemingway's is the definitive statement about this. He said, make it up so truly that later it will happen that way. This, I dare say, is Christ-like advice, not just to those practicing the art form known as fiction writing, but to anyone trying to live a faith, defend the weak, or sustain the world through love. Thank you very much.